Okay, in this part of our lesson, we're going to be working with continuing to simplify algebraic expressions. In this part of the lesson, we're going to be also including distributive property. So once again, I want to review with you that an algebraic expression is in its simplest form when there are no like terms to still combine and there are no parentheses. So this is slightly different than the previous part of the lesson because you will now notice that we have some parentheses. So our first step has to be, once there's parentheses involved, is to simplify with the parentheses. Well, here I cannot do 4 minus 3k because those are not like terms. They don't have the same ending or the same label. So we're going to go ahead and do our distributive property. And you guys have worked distributive property previously this year. Okay, so out in the front, I still have 8k. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and distribute. So here's the thing that you really need to pay attention to. This negative is going with that 2. So when I go through to distribute, I have to take the negative with the 2. I can't just write a negative sign and then distribute because it's really a minus 2 or a negative 2. Okay, so now when I distribute, negative 2 times 4 gives me negative 8. Negative 2 times a negative 3. Okay, so negative 2 times negative 3 gives me positive 6, and then that one had a k on it. Okay, so now I'm back to what we were working with earlier in our lesson. I now can simplify by combining like terms. So I like to mark them, the terms, in the same manner. So I've got a positive 8k and a positive 6k. When I put those together, 8 plus 6 gives me 14. Okay, and then all I have left is this minus 8, so minus 8. Okay, so this is what you would call a binomial, where you've actually got 2 terms in the equation. Okay, so let's go ahead and try another one. Okay, that one was kind of tricky because of the negative sign. So once again, this one has another negative sign. So when we distribute, because we have to simplify the parentheses first, we need to take the negative with the 2. So negative 2 times g would give me negative 2g. Now I'm going to do negative 2 times a positive 4. So negative 2 times 4 gives me negative 8. And then I still have a plus 7g there. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and look for our like terms. I'm very visual. Remember to include the symbol in front of any term or any number. Okay, so there I've got my 2 like terms boxed around. So negative 2 plus 7. Those are different symbols. Find the difference, which would be 5. And I'm still going to have a g. The larger number was positive, so it's a positive 5g. Then all I have left is still a negative 8. Okay, so there's my final answer for working that distributive property and going through to simplify like terms. So let's go ahead and write another one up. Whoops. Okay, so let's do 5 times 2g plus 7 plus 5g minus 10. Okay, so let's go ahead and simplify this. So we're going to start where there's parentheses, and we can't simplify any further within the parentheses, so we're going to distribute. 5 times 2 would give me 10. Apply my g to the end. 5 times 7, so don't forget to distribute to that second number, would give me 35, and they were both positive, so it's a positive 35. And then back here, I'm just going to go ahead and bring that down. So plus 5g minus 10. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and combine like terms. So let's see. Here I've got a g, and here I've got a g. So remembering to include the symbol that's in front of each number. So 10 positive plus positive 5, or 10 plus 5 would give me 15g. And then for my my constant, my non-variables, I have a 35 that's positive and a negative 10. So 35 minus 10 would give me 25, and that would be a positive 25. So I need to remember to put that plus sign in between. Here is my final answer. Okay? So once again, we just have two terms, so that would be a binomial. If you had three, it would be trinomial. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and slide one out here for you guys to try. I want you to go ahead and try this one. So go ahead and pause your video and work your way through distributing and then combining like terms, and then check back for your answer. Okay, you should have ended up with, after distribution, a 3q plus 3, and then you still had the minus 4 or minus 7q. When you combine like terms, 3q minus 7q would give me negative 4q, and then a positive 3 minus 4 gives me negative 1. So my final answer was negative 4q minus 1. Once again, this is just a continuation of stuff that you learned previously in the section. Now adding distributive property and making sure that in order to get our algebraic expression into simplest form, we have to get rid of any of those parentheses and no longer have like terms that can be combined.